So, it's finally happened. AH has taken the stand, and what a performance she's putting on right now. Now, I originally thought she would be able to get the tears out. I thought they were going to flow. That has not happened, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, we've gotten everything but the tears. The sounds and the facial expressions are there, but the tears, they're just not coming out. Listen to this.
And I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself. But I was just looking at the dirty carpet trying to will myself to get up, to walk out of the door because I knew I needed to. And I really slowly, I stood up and I remember looking at him in the eye and just looking at him, frankly, because I didn't know what else to do. And before I know it, he starts crying.
It's been interesting testimony on that fact that she just can't get the tears out. And it's almost like her story is from a Lifetime movie. Just even performed even worse. She's trying to build up this narrative of aggression and grooming, as Mr. Nick Rekieta says here on Twitter, and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. She's trying to build a story of a wasted monster all the time. And the performance just, at least to me, is not selling. I thought the tears were going to flow, and maybe they still will. But if you've ever seen her movies, she's really not the best actress. And you're seeing it here. It's a very over-exaggerated performance. No tears. See, in a movie, they could just throw some Visine on you, and then they could start the film back up. But it's not working here. Look at a lot of these pictures. I want to show you some of these. Tug's been screenshotting them for his timeline here. And you can see her try to get these performances out, like this one right here, like just trying to push those tears out, and they're not coming. But some of the stories are interesting. So I want to play you one where she tells this story about how JD tried to control her and tell her what she can and can't do. And I want you to notice the performance here. Really look at her body language and the way she's moving around. It's like she's memorized a script.
Dress was low cut. I get it. It's low cut. But I felt, I felt really embarrassed and horrible that I wore that. I felt like, how could I have made that choice? Of course, he's right. You start to believe it. I started to believe that made a lot of sense, of course. But it didn't stop with that. It was clothing in general. And when I walked out of the house, it wasn't just like, hey, you're not allowed to wear that. It was like, oh, really? That's what you're wearing. No wonder you get cast in those roles. No wonder you that's what you are. That's what you're making it. And it continued. And then there would be a blow up. And at first, it was just to throw something, smash some things. It loves to smash up a place, an apartment, furniture. Is what it started with. Glass. Threw glass at me, and I remember it was summer.
Quite a performance. Well, not really. It's an awful performance, but she's trying really hard to sell it. Looking at the jury, making sniffing sounds, trying to make JD sound like he was some kind of monster who controlled her, mocked her, all this stuff. Now, this is just the first day, but it's going to get worse. But going back to like what Rekieta was talking about with the grooming thing, like one of the first stories she told during her testimony was about a time where JD kicked up her dress and was like, yum, and pushed her on the bed and stuff. I want to play that clip for you now. It's not very long.
picked up the back of my robe with his boot. And I kind of turned around and like laughed, like giggled, you know. I didn't know what to make of it at the time. And I just kind of giggled and batted it away playfully. And he kind of playfully kind of pushed me down on this like bed sofa that was in his trailer, just playful and flirtatious. And he said, yum. And he kind of like lifted up his eyebrows like that. And I just giggled, laughed it off, kind of batted him away, and, you know, moved on, went back to set.
And were you in a relationship at that time?
I was.
By the way, earlier when the psychologist, the clout-chasing psychologist, who, by the way, we will talk about that person Saturday on Flashcast, or maybe I'll do a video on it. Lots of stuff on that person, basically trying to chase celebrity. They opened the door up to talk about this, which they want to keep out of the court, by the way, because only one person in that courtroom, or as far as between AH and JD, has a history of going after ex-partners. And that's AH, who was in trouble for it back in 2009. Though her ex defended her. You see how they changed that up. She went to jail, or at least I believe she got arrested. Now, she dropped the charges on her, but it's still, the police were called, and she got in trouble for it. But we didn't get to hear about that because it got shot down. So we'll see how this goes, but the performance that she's putting on is rather weak. I thought she was going to really be able to bring those tears out, but it's looking like that's not going to be a strategy that she'll be able to utilize. Those are very powerful tears, by the way. If a beautiful woman gets on the stand and can pull out the tears, that goes a long way. But I don't think she's going to be able to pull them out, ladies and gentlemen, and I thought that she for sure would be able to. But if you've seen her movies, like I said, you know she's really just not that good. So I don't know. How many people are buying this? That's a question I have. How many people are going to buy this performance from her? If she can't get those tears out, especially when she starts to talk about more explicit things, which I don't think is going to happen until tomorrow, because she's probably going to finish the week out, and then we have a whole week off, by the way. Next week, I guess, there is no trial. So she's going to be on the stand probably for 3 days, and then I would expect 2 or 3 of cross. The cross is where things will be really interested, because how does she handle that? Will she be able to handle that? That's the question. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.